The challenges are huge.
Hello, it is 11 a.m. here in London. It's 1 p.m. in Jerusalem. I'm Monita Rajpal.
And I'm Zain Verjee. This is World One. Also ahead,
the first Olympic athletes are landing in London today on what's set to be the busiest ever day for London's Heathrow Airport. And they're flying into a worsening storm over security issues. British MPs and Games organisers have insisted that safety will not be compromised at the Games. This follows an admission from private security giant G4S that it will not be able to deliver the staff it promised. A diplomatic deadlock even before talks begin. Russia's foreign minister says President Bashar al-Assad won't step down and Moscow won't change its stance. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has just been giving a news conference ahead of crucial talks with the UN Special Envoy Kofi Annan. Meanwhile, a senior diplomat who became the highest-ranking defector to the opposition has told CNN the Syrian government has deliberately opened the door to al-Qaeda militants. He's also been telling CNN's Ivan Watson what finally pushed him to abandon the regime. Ivan joins us now from Istanbul in Turkey. Ivan.
Monita, up until a few days ago, he was Syria's man in Baghdad, a critically important diplomatic post for Syria with its neighbor Iraq. Now,
describe these allegations and accusations pretty explosive, Ivan, and then they would also question how credible is this diplomat in terms of the kind of claims that he's making?
Well, that's right. I mean, and this is a man who was a loyal lieutenant of Bashar al-Assad.
The International Committee of the Red Cross has officially declared the conflict in Syria a non-international armed conflict or a civil war. And this means international humanitarian law applies to all fighting. As guardians of the Geneva Convention, the ICRC use 3 criteria to decide whether or not to invoke the terms of the treaties. We want to break this down for you here. Now, the first is the intensity of the fighting. The second criteria is the duration of the fighting. And then the third criteria there is the level of the organization of the rebels, just how organized these opposition fighters are. Now, there are also rules and limits that are imposed on just how fighting can be conducted. These rules include a duty to protect civilians, the humane treatment of all people in enemy hands, including a duty to care for the sick and the wounded, as well as also means both parties are entitled to attack military targets, but not civilians or civilian property. Now that international humanitarian law has been invoked, both sides can be held accountable for war crimes if they violate these tenets. You're watching World One live from London. Thought to be one of Kim Jong-un's closest aides, now North Korea's top military officer, Ri Yong-ho, has been relieved of all government posts. State-run media have cited illness as the reason for Ri's departure, prompting speculation of a power struggle within the secretive regime. And Paula Hancock joins us now from Seoul for more on the story. Paula, is anyone buying this reason that Pyongyang is giving of illness?
Not at this point, Monita, no. Everyone that I've spoken to, all the North Korean experts, think that that is the most least likely reason for him to have been dismissed. Now, it is a surprising development. Ri Yong-ho was a regime heavyweight when it came...
Barclays Bank says it is truly sorry. On Saturday, the lender took out large advertisements in British newspapers apologizing for its actions in the ongoing LIBOR scandal, but the move is likely to do little for Jerry Delmessier. He's the story now from CNN's Nina DeSantis. Let's talk a little bit about the fact that the whole, I guess, the controversy surrounding LIBOR was known by the Fed back a few years ago.
Yeah, that's since emerged over the course of the weekend. Basically what happened, Monita, is that the Fed...
way back when, but now there's this apology that has come out here from Barclays. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, some people saying perhaps this is likely to be a little bit too little too late. You saw earlier on exactly what these advertisements look like.
Lots for you to cover on World Business Today a little bit later on. Nina, thank you very much.
You're watching World One live from London.
Cleanup efforts have begun in southern Japan, where torrential flooding has forced hundreds of thousands of people out of their homes. 26 people died in the floods and 6 are missing. Members of Japan's self-defense force, students and volunteers are coming together to clean up. And it's a scene that's become all too familiar in Japan, piecing a life together after it's been destroyed by a natural disaster. After torrential flooding, people are returning to their devastated homes slowly but surely. Litsa Vasileva reports. Welcome back. It's time to look at sports now. And former England boss Fabio Capello has gone back into coaching. Alex Thomas is here to tell us where is he going.
Yeah, some news just in the last 20 minutes or so, Monita. And that is that former England manager Fabio Capello has taken the reins.
Great. That'll be a great cricket match to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that, Alex.
You're watching World One live from London.
Now, if you decide that it's healthier to leave the hotel and venture outside and actually go on an actual date, well, sorry, that's another activity with certain pitfalls, particularly if you've ever been on a date so excruciating you just prayed for your phone to ring with some credible excuse to get you out of there. Should that happen again, a new iPhone app could come in handy. It's called the Bad Date Rescue app. The new app allows you to arrange for a fake call during the middle of your date. It is the perfect excuse, allowing you to bow out gracefully and make your exit. Another story we're talking about today is the hit U.S. show American Idol. They may be adding another big name to their judging panel, including this lady here, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, has told CNN she is interested in the job. And there are vacancies. Jennifer Lopez and Steven Tyler are both saying they won't be back for the new season. Finally, admit it. You've always wanted to do this, Zain, right? The world's longest human domino chain made the Guinness Book of World Records in Shanghai. 1,000 volunteers tied to mattresses on their back. They took part, yeah. There were no reported injuries. Why would there be injuries if they're tied to a mattress? They've already got the cushioning. Zain?
Great question there, Monita. Well, follow it up. I don't know why people do that, but it looked good. It looked fun. I missed it this time, maybe next year. Time for a check of world weather. Mari Ramos is going to tell us what the latest updates are there. Mari, that was a pretty interesting domino chain.
That was, you know, that one guy that was in the corner where it curved. That guy.
Mari Ramos, thanks so much. You're watching World One live from London. I'm Zain, Verjee.
I'm Monita Rajpal. Thank you for joining us. We'll update you the news headlines in just a couple of minutes right here on CNN.